After long hours at work, even actors need to blow off steam. But not even Hollywood's finest are immune to a good, weird prank, and they can get pretty strange. In honor of April Fool's Day, here are some of the most bizarre on-set pranks. Chris Pratt's full Andy. During his time on Parks and Recreation, Chris Pratt was known to improvise almost constantly.
I was born at 17 months, with a full head of hair, a full head of teeth.
So, during a scene where his character Andy shows up in the buff, Pratt was supposed to be wearing flesh-colored undies, which could be blurred out later. But since it was April Fool's Day, he thought it would be better to just ditch the undies and just go in his birthday suit, without telling anyone.
Baby, I'm back!
Thank you, Jonah!
In an interview with Graham Norton, Pratt revealed the motivation for his prank.
To me, it didn't seem like she really was reacting to seeing my and so I was like, I know what I'm gonna do.
Apparently, NBC wasn't thrilled, and he got a letter from the network reprimanding him for his behavior. He reacted in typical Chris Pratt fashion. He framed the letter and hung it in his office. J-Law gets bugged to death. Like most people, Jennifer Lawrence is terrified of bugs. Since Hollywood Sweetheart has pretty much no filter when it comes to sharing things about herself, that fact was probably common knowledge on the set of Hunger Games: Catching Fire. So of course her co-star Jeffrey Wright thought it would be funny to give Lawrence a blue Tiffany's box with a surprise.
What was in that?
Well, about as many crickets as I could cram into the box.
Wright didn't get away without a little bit of karmic punishment, though. He went on to say it was really hard to stuff a bunch of live crickets in a little box, so as a result, he ended up with his very own hotel room plague. Jennifer Lawrence seems to get involved in more on-set pranks than your average actor. While shooting American Hustle, Lawrence was nervous about filming in a graveyard. So her co-stars Christian Bale and Bradley Cooper had the prop team make a personalized headstone to sneak into the scene that read, Jennifer Lawrence, born August 15, 1890, died April 1, 1913. Lawrence reportedly screamed and said, "That's my name. Is this just a coincidence, or am I gonna die?" Her co-stars quickly came clean, and the whole graveyard scene was cut anyhow. But making someone think about their own fleeting mortality is always a pretty great joke, right? Right? Fat Damon. During the filming of The Monuments Men, Matt Damon was especially serious about slimming down for his role. So naturally, whenever Damon flew back to New York during filming breaks, George Clooney would take all of Damon's clothes to the wardrobe department and have them made slightly smaller. Damon couldn't figure out why his clothes were always too small, causing him to hit the gym even harder. It wasn't until much later that Damon figured it all out, and only after the psychological damage had been done.
I found out only a few days ago that it really disturbed you.
Yeah, and I never said anything because I thought I was being professional and trying to lose weight, and it wasn't working.
Even after all of that, Damon says he would never try to prank the notorious prankster back, saying he doesn't want to poke the bear. When you get into a prank war with Clooney, you might not survive. Fishing for Leo. After weeks of playing the victim to Leonardo DiCaprio's roughhousing on the set of Wolf of Wall Street, Jonah Hill felt like he needed a little retribution. So during the first take of the film's sushi scene, everything went as planned, and Hill ate everything on his plate. But later, Hill went off script and let DiCaprio take the last piece.
You can eat that last piece of yellowtail, bud.
It's all yours.
Now imagine doing that 70 times. Hill was familiar with director Martin Scorsese's penchant for shooting the same scene over and over and over. By the end of the night, DiCaprio had eaten an entire school of yellowtail. For some, that's a regular night, but for sushi lightweight DiCaprio, it meant puking into a trash can. Of course, after this scene, Hill probably had more than enough fish for one film. The Yentl of Doom. Not even Steven Spielberg is immune to the lure of on-set pranking. During a scene in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Harrison Ford is tied up and whipped by a rather gigantic man. During one take, rather than employing one of the bad guys from the film, Spielberg had Barbra Streisand show up, fully dressed in leather, to do the whipping. With each lash, Streisand would berate Ford for his movies. To top things off, Carrie Fisher also shows up to shield Ford and give him a kiss. Well played, Spielberg. Starstruck by Viggo. Peter Jackson's sprawling Lord of the Rings films are beautiful, well acted, and kind of violent. That could be why Viggo Mortensen decided to start a new tradition on set. According to multiple co-stars, Mortensen headbutts people. Hard. It's kind of like his way of saying hello, except the phenomenon spread and caused more than a few temporary blackouts on set, like the one when Orlando Bloom was clobbered.
And I was thinking I might never see you again.
but I think he enjoyed it.
The tradition followed through all 3 movies and the red carpet, and Elijah Wood called it spontaneous, violent love. When you start calling concussions love, it's time to find new friends. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.